Hello children, I hope that the topic of speed was very clear with you. We have started with motion in one dimension. I already explained you what is a scalar quantity, what is a vector quantity, as well as we also studied what is distance, displacement, as well as what is speed. So when I'm talking about speed, speed is nothing but we say that it is the rate of the change of distance with time. Okay, speed is the rate of the change of distance with time. As well as we saw yesterday what we mean by uniform speed, that is when a body is covering equal intervals of time, okay, equal distances in equal intervals of time, we call it as speed. Okay, when the body is covering unequal distances in equal intervals of time, then we say it's non uniform speed, or we call it as variable speed. Then instantaneous speed, average speed, and then today what we are focusing is called as velocity. Now speed, which is there, it's a scalar quantity, right? Speed will be a scalar quantity. Now let us analyze, or let us understand what do we mean by velocity. Now velocity is nothing but it's defined as the distance traveled by the body in a specified direction. Okay, we said that speed, when we were saying about the speed, we said that rate of change of distance. But when we are talking about velocity, velocity is defined as the distance traveled per second by the body in a specified direction. Now as we know that velocity that is there, it's a vector quantity. Okay, velocity is a vector quantity, speed is a scalar quantity. So if velocity is a vector quantity, obviously what will it have? It will be having a magnitude as well as it will be having a certain direction. So we can see here that distance traveled per second, so the distance here is the magnitude and it is traveling in a particular direction, so it's the velocity. So every time velocity will be specified with certain amount of speed, and along with the speed the body will be traveling in one particular direction, which gives me the velocity. But speed is nothing but the rate of change with time, that is only the distance traveled in particular time period, that's it. But velocity, distance traveled with time in a direction. So we can say, also say that rate of change of displacement of a body with time is called velocity. Okay, rate of change of displacement, we had studied about displacement also. Okay, I had explained you what is actually displacement. When we were studying about displacement, I explained you that displacement is the what, shortest distance from initial to final position, right? That's called as a displacement. So here we can say that it's nothing but a rate of change of displacement of a body with time, that is also called as the velocity of the body. Now here I have given few specifications. It's a vector quantity, it's given by symbol u or v with a arrow on the top. What is this arrow indicating? This arrow indicates that it's a vector quantity. Okay, so here for the velocity, both the magnitude and the direction should be specified. So if we are talking about velocity, we need to have a magnitude as well as we need to have a direction. So here we can say that there are two bodies A and B. Okay, both A and B will be having same velocity. When will they be having same velocity? Okay, if they are traveling, okay, if they are traveling with the same speed, okay, if they are traveling with the same speed and in the same direction, then they have same velocities. If two bodies are traveling with the same speed in the same direction, then we say it's the same velocity. For example, both of them are traveling at a speed of 5 meter per second and both of them are traveling towards east, so I can say both the bodies have same velocity. So when can I say body is having different velocities? So there are two criteria where bodies have two different velocities. For example, A and B both are traveling. Okay, they are traveling with 5 meter per second, but A is traveling in, say A is traveling in the west direction and B is traveling in the east direction. So two opposite directions are there, but speed is same, but then too they will be having different velocities. Why different velocities? Because their directions are different, then the next case we can say A and B, two bodies are there. Okay, one is having 5 meter per second, another one's speed is 10 meter per second, different speeds. Okay, different speeds but same direction, they are traveling in east. So we can say different speeds but same direction, so they have different velocities. So there are three different criterias over here. If it is in the same direction, both the bodies will be having the same speed in same direction. If different velocities are there, same speed but two different directions. If they are two bodies traveling with different speeds but in the same direction, then they will be having different velocities. SI unit of velocity, meter per second, or we call it as centimeter per second, meter per second or centimeter per second. Then as we studied in speed about uniform speed, uniform velocity, instantaneous speed, average speed, same way for velocity also we will be studying. Now what is actually uniform velocity? Uniform velocity is nothing but if a body travels equal distances in particular direction with equal intervals of time, then the body is said to be in uniform velocity. So how uniform velocity? Say for example, this is a body, right? Now this body which is there, it is traveling say 5 meters in 1 second, the same example as I had shown of uniform speed. Then 10 meters in 2 seconds, then 15 meters in 3 seconds. And in which direction are they traveling? In the direction east. So I can say it has uniform velocity. How? Because if you take out the formula, that is distance upon time, okay, so here you will be getting uniform speeds, okay, equal distances in equal intervals of time, that is here 5, 5, 5. So you can say that this particular body is traveling with uniform velocity. Okay, so here examples of uniform velocity is the raindrops that reach on the earth's surface falls with uniform velocity, as well as a body once started on a frictionless surface moves with uniform velocity. So when the raindrop is falling, you can see on page number 31 the point which is given in star. Initially the raindrop starts falling, so first its velocity will be increasing due to force of gravity, but very soon due to viscosity or due to the friction of air, what happens? Okay, the force friction of air, the viscous force and upthrust balances the force of gravity. Upthrust is the buoyant force or the buoyancy of it. Okay, so that gets balanced, and with the result of what? The net drop of the force becomes 0, and therefore the drop falls down with a uniform velocity called terminal velocity. Once again I will tell you, as the raindrops, okay, this is just for your reference, it will be not asked in exam but just for your reference. When these raindrops are falling, they will be falling with a very large speed, okay, the velocity will be increases because it is traveling towards the gravity, okay, but as soon as it reaches, it comes down due to the friction of air as well as the buoyant force. Buoyant force is nothing but the buoyancy. Due to the buoyant force as well as the friction of air, what happens? It balances the force of gravity. The force of gravity is balanced with the buoyant force as well as with the friction force, and due to this reason what happens? The speed of the raindrops, okay, the net force of the drop becomes 0. So when it becomes 0, it starts traveling with uniform velocity, which is called as terminal velocity. Okay, I hope this is clear. It's just a part of understanding. So this is an example of uniform velocity, that is body traveling with equal distances in particular direction in equal intervals of time. We say that it's called as uniform velocity. Then what is non-uniform or variable velocity? Now velocity of the body which is there, when we are talking about non-uniform velocity, velocity of the body will be changing because of what? If the magnitude changes, if the direction changes, or both the magnitude and direction changes. So there are three criteria where there will be non-uniform or variable velocity: either change in magnitude, change in direction, or change in magnitude or direction. So here there are three different cases which we will be analyzing for this. So let us see the first case. Okay, we say that here if you see, okay, in the first case we can say that the body is moving, okay, equal distances, fine. So let us say that the body moves unequal distances in a particular direction in equal intervals of time. So here I will be taking some other ratio, just give me a moment. Okay, so this you can see the first case, okay, from 0 it is traveling 5 meters in 1 second, okay, equal intervals of time but distances are different. Then in 5 meters it went to 12, from 12 it went to 15. So you can say that these are unequal distances. So unequal distances in equal intervals of time, so we can say that it is traveling in variable velocity. Variable velocity, or we can call it as non-uniform velocity. Now see the second case, the case B. Here they are saying that it will be traveling equal distances in equal intervals of time. Body will be traveling equal distances in equal intervals of time, but the direction of motion is different. So if the direction of the motion is different, then also this body is said to be traveling with non-uniform velocity or variable velocity. Now how? For example, this particular body went 5 meters in 1 second in east, then 10 meters towards south, again here 15 meters towards west. So what happened? Direction changing, but if you see, it is traveling in equal distances, it is traveling in equal intervals of time, having equal distances. 5 meter here, 10 meters here, 15 meters here, in 1 second 5 meters, in 2 seconds 10 meters here. So we say that timing is same and distance also same, but what is different in this? The direction. So here we say this body is traveling with variable velocity, this body is traveling with variable velocity. So are you getting? So first we can say that when can a body have variable velocity? If it is traveling, first case is that it travels unequal distances in equal intervals of time in the same direction of motion, where in case 1. Or second thing we can say, second case we can say, it is traveling equal distances in equal intervals of time but in different directions. Okay, unequal distances in equal intervals of time but in the same direction. And second, equal distances in equal intervals of time but there is a change in the direction of motion. So we can say the body will be having non-uniform velocity. Now let us go to the examples which is given in your textbook. Now there are two examples which are given for variable velocity, that is a motion of freely falling body. Okay, for example, if you see this particular body, okay, I have a ball, okay, I am just throwing the ball. For example, if I just throw the pen, okay, I am throwing it from a height, right? So here if I throw a ball, okay, from here down, freely falling body, it will be having variable velocity. So how variable velocity? Direction is same, but what happens to the speed? Speed will be changing continuously. The speed will be continuously increasing when it will be traveling towards the force of gravity, towards the force of gravity. Now there must be a question arising in your mind, that example of uniform velocity, raindrops are also falling freely, right? They are falling from reaching on the earth's surface from the above, they are also feeling. But I explained you what is balancing it, the buoyant force. The buoyant force as well as the other aspect is what? The frictional force of air, that balances this particular force of it, and as a result of this it becomes uniform in the speed, which is called as terminal velocity. Okay, but here it will be variable velocity. Why? Because when the body is falling, it will be continuously changing its speed. That's the reason it will be having variable velocity. Now another interesting example is about this. Another interesting example is that a body moving in a circular path at a constant speed, but it will be having variable velocity. Now how is this possible? Now let us see this example. Now here if you see, the body is in circle, it is going in circle, okay, it will be having in uniform velocity. But what is happening over here? Uniform speed, sorry, it will be having uniform speed, but if you see, the direction is changing. How the direction is changing? For example, let me start from here. Okay, if the body is moving like this, so first it will move like this, right? It has to move like this, direction of motion. Again change the motion, again like this, again like this. So what is happening over here? There is a change in the motion. So at every instant it's shown by some tangents. So why these tangents are shown? So for these tangents are shown for the direction of the motion. So here you see uniform speed, but what is changing? Direction of motion, direction of motion. So we can say that it's the velocity changes at a uniform rate. Speed is uniform, okay, speed is uniform, but what is changing? While circulating, the direction is changing. While circulating, the direction is changing. Okay, let us say, let us take an example. You are riding your cycle, okay, and you are making a circle and riding your cycle. Do you have to change the the wheel of the cycle? You have to change the wheels of the cycle just to turn. So what are you doing? Your motion, you're changing your motion, direction of motion, right? So that is again variable velocity, okay, or we can say non-uniform velocity. I hope uniform velocity and variable velocity is clear. Uniform velocity, we said body travels equal distances in a particular direction with equal intervals of time. Okay, and non-uniform, we can say that there are criterias or there are some specifications which I have given, right? It can be variable when unequal distances in equal intervals of time but in the same direction. It can be variable if unequal with equal distances in equal intervals of time, but what is different? Direction of motion. So these are the two criteria, or these are the two examples of it. Now next part which we have seen in this also we have seen previously also, that is instantaneous velocity and average velocity. Instantaneous speed is used to measure what? Instantaneous speed, where is it used? It's used in the speedometer. Okay, instantaneous speed which is there when we measure instantaneous speed, speedometer of the vehicle is measuring the instantaneous speed. Now if a body is moving with variable velocity, okay, so here we will be finding out the velocity of the body at any instant is the instantaneous velocity. So we can find out by the distance travelled in a sufficiently small interval divided with the time interval. Okay, so it is measured by finding the ratio of what? Distance travelled in sufficiently time interval divided with the time interval. So distance travelled in sufficiently small interval divided by time interval. So here it is important to have time interval small so that the direction of the motion does not change. Okay, we need to have the interval as small. Then average velocity, you already know if a velocity of the body is moving in particular direction with the time. Okay, so how do we find out average velocity? So the ratio of the displacement, okay, ratio of the displacement to the total time taken. So ratio of displacement to the time taken in the entire journey is called average velocity. Displacement upon time taken, displacement upon total time taken. So that gives me what? That gives me the average velocity. Okay, so in we will be finding out the displacement. Displacement is what? The shortest distance, right? Shortest distance from the initial to the final position will give me the displacement, that divided with time taken. Now another thing, interesting thing, differentiating between speed and velocity. So we already know, I have just written it in short. Speed, it's a scalar quantity. Why? Because it has only magnitude. Velocity, vector quantity. Why? Because velocity will be having magnitude as well as direction. Okay, then speed will always be positive. Okay, for the motion in straight line, the magnitude of velocity is speed. So speed is always positive. Speed will always be positive. Why? Because it's a scalar quantity. It is having only magnitude. But velocity, it can be positive, it can be negative, depending on what? Depending on the direction of motion. It can be positive, it can be negative, depending on the direction of motion. Then average velocity of the body which is there, average speed is not zero. Average speed will never be zero, but average velocity can be zero. How? I'll explain you. Average speed cannot be zero, average velocity can be zero. Okay, and another few points about speed and velocity is the same thing, that is distance travelled per second by a moving object is called speed, and the distance travelled per second by a moving object in a particular direction is called its velocity, which is the definition. And the same thing they have mentioned over here, that how it is a scalar vector, how is what is the, it's positive, this is positive or negative. And another one, after one round in a circular path, average speed is not zero. After completing each round in a circular path, average velocity is zero. So we will be seeing that. Now for example, there are two different things given. Okay, this is the example of the point. If a body starts in motion from a point and comes back to the same point, the displacement is zero. This I already explained you when we were learning about displacement. When I was teaching you displacement, I already mentioned you about these things, that for example, if a person is standing here and he completes one particular circle and he reaches here, I will say that the displacement of the body is zero. I explained you this why it is zero, right? Because displacement, shortest distance from initial to final. So from here he started, again he came back over here, so the displacement will be considered as zero. Distance will be considered as 2 pi r, right? The circumference. So if displacement is zero, what is average velocity? Zero. Why? Because average velocity is what? Displacement divided by total time taken. So 0 upon something is nothing but 0 itself. but average speed you will get certain value. What is average speed? Total distance upon total time taken. So average speed you will get certain value, but average velocity will be 0. Okay, then I hope it's clear, right? So here first point, body starts in motion, okay, comes back to the same position, displacement is 0, average velocity is 0, but total distance taken is not 0, and therefore average speed is not 0. So I hope this point is clear. Second point is, if a body is moving in a circular direction and it is covering equal distances in equal intervals of time, okay, equal distances in equal intervals of time, but what is different? Because of the change in the direction there is variable velocity. This we studied, right? While studying the example I explained you. Okay, the body is covering equal distances in equal intervals of time, but what is changing? The direction of motion. So I said that this body is it will be having variable velocity. Now when I talk about the displacement of this particular body, what is the displacement of this particular body? What will it be? 0. Okay, then average velocity will also be 0. Why? Because average velocity is nothing but what? Displacement upon total time, right? And average speed, okay, if I calculate average speed, as I told you, average speed is what? Total distance travelled upon total time taken, which will be t, 2 pi r upon t. So the radius of the path is, okay, the radius of the path is r, sorry, the radius of the path is r, and t is the time taken to complete one round. So in this way we can calculate the average speed as well as average velocity. I hope this is clear. Average velocity by distance upon total time, average speed total distance upon total time, total distance 2 pi r, the circumference of the circle, right, and t is the time taken. So in this way we can distinguish between speed and velocity. Now I hope that distance, displacement and speed and velocity are very clear with you. Okay, the next point which we will be starting will be acceleration and retardation. Before going to acceleration and retardation, I want you all to go through these topics, speed, velocity, distance, time once again, as well as your homework is your completion of lesson 1's question answers. If you have done it good, next time onwards we will be completing acceleration, retardation, and we will be going towards the numericals. Thank you everyone, and take care.